even though hair loss is a common problem, it can be a tough subject to talk about for the millions of men and women who experience it. It can affect their appearance as well as their self-esteem. If this is a topic you can relate to, you're probably wondering what, if anything, can be done. Well, today we're going to find out. Dr. Jeffrey Gold is a board-certified surgeon and laser expert with more than 30 years of experience. Welcome back to Connecticut Style, Doctor.
Thanks for having me back.
So you're an expert in more ways than one on this topic.
Anything that has to do with lasers.
And hair loss. We're talking about that today also. What actually causes it?
There are lots of factors involved with hair loss, primarily genetics and hormone imbalances. Smoking is a major factor as well because hair follicles only have one blood vessel bringing blood to the base of the hair follicle. Okay. And every time you smoke a cigarette, every time you take a puff of a cigarette, blood vessels in your body contract. And so you're losing blood supply to your hair follicles. So smoking is a major factor, as well as diet, stress, environment, genetics.
And it differs between men and women?
Different patterns between men and women and different hormone imbalances. The bottom line is a product called DHT, dihydrotestosterone, which is formed in the body by a mixture of testosterone, which even women have testosterone, and an enzyme called alpha reductase. When those two mix, DHT is produced. And DHT builds up around hair follicles, only on the scalp, and nobody knows why that should be. But when the DHT accumulates, it makes the hair follicles sick. Inflammation around the hair follicles causes them to get smaller gradually. And so, because hair grows in cycles, with each new cycle, the next hair is going to be narrower.
Until there's none left.
Until the follicle finally closes up and skin grows over it and we're done. That's why I don't have any hair.
Is that what happened to you, Doc?
Even though I have this technology, because my hair follicles were already done by the time this technology came about.
Oh, so this is something someone should think about at the first signs of hair loss.
The earlier people do this, use this science of low-level laser therapy, the better their chances are of getting their hair restored.
Okay, well, let's talk more in detail, Doctor, about laser hair therapy.
Starting about 40 years ago, a Hungarian researcher was doing some work with low-level laser therapy in trying to help heal wounds in mice. And what he found was that not only did the wounds heal better, but they grew hair in their shaved areas. So this research advanced, and about 20 years ago in Sweden, somebody developed this technology called Revage670 using low-level laser therapy. And you can see in that left picture what a typical setup looks like. It's almost like a hairdryer in a salon.
That's what I was going to say.
The picture on the right top of that is what the laser dome itself looks like when it comes down over the head. And the bottom picture on the right is what is produced by this special camera that I've got sitting on your table that takes pictures of hair follicles.
Wow. All right, well then how exactly does the laser therapy work? How does it stimulate, I guess, right?
You can see in this take-home model, if I can get it to work.
Okay. Now this is something in addition to the office visits.
Yes, the model doesn't want to turn on right now, but people can use this at home. It's just positioned on the head. It can be hooked into your computer or your MP3 player while you're listening to it, and the sessions last 20 minutes.
Okay.
And laser energy is emitted by the little lights in there, as well as red LED light. The laser energy causes stimulation of the circulation to the hair follicles, and the LED light directly stimulates the cells in the hair follicle to produce better and thicker hair.
Okay, let's take a look at some before and after pictures.
Okay.
You could describe to us what we're looking at.
The top set of pictures is a young man who just had this one unusual bald patch in the back of his head, and you can see what he looked like several months later.
That's quite a full head of hair, Doctor.
Full head of hair. And he still has that because he uses the iGrow that I just showed you for home maintenance.
Okay.
The woman on the bottom set of pictures had really lost her hair over a number of years, and you can see that although she isn't perfect, she's very much better than she was after a year.
Okay.
The woman on the top had lupus and had lost her hair in a more typical female baldness pattern, with just widening of the part, and she had complete restoration as well. The woman at the bottom had a mixture of female pattern and male pattern. Even women can get androgenetic alopecia, and that is the technical term for hair loss, and she also had dramatic results after a year. I think we have even some more pictures.
Okay.
This was the first man who ever came to me when I started promoting this 3 or 4 years ago, and he had both frontal loss and apical hair loss, and you can see his dramatic results in a year. And I still see him occasionally for other reasons, and he has a full head of hair now.
He sure does. Who would you say is a good candidate for this?
The candidacy is determined by people coming to see me for a free consultation.
Okay.
And I have to find 2 criteria when I take pictures with the folliscope. I have to find hairs of varying diameters, telling me that this is an ongoing process, and I have to find living hair follicles on the scalp, even if they're empty. If hair follicles are visible to the camera on the scalp, then we know that person is a good candidate.
Very good.
Anybody who's not willing to stop smoking when they come to me, I discourage them from doing this treatment.
Got it. All right, we're just about out of time, doctor, but you have a special offer for police officers, firefighters, and first responders.
Absolutely. Anybody who mentions this program who fits in one of those criteria can get a 10% discount by checking us out at laserbody.com. And people who want to read more about the science can go to apirascience.com.
All right, let's put the information up on the screen. If you'd like more information, Dr. Gold just mentioned, you can call 203-281-5737 or visit laserbody.com. Thank you so much for all the information.
Thanks for having me back.
All right, up next, David Leach shares a recipe for a classic Italian dish when style returns. Stick around.